Hi, Geoff here from GCT Property. Today's a short video clip on 10 steps for your getting into your first home. So the idea of this 10-step action plan is to make your experience more pleasurable and more enjoyable. So tip number one is always speak to a finance specialist before you're looking at property to know your numbers and what's affordable and what you're comfortable with. Tip number two is be aware that there may be some additional costs, so things like may apply like stamp duty, legal costs, bank charges, etc. Again, the finance specialist will be able to explain those so that you know the numbers up front. Tip number three is don't overextend yourself, so know the numbers and work within your affordability budget, because once you move into the property it's very hard to have any additional funds to finish the property, etc., or do some renovation work. Tip number four is just be aware that it's your first home and getting onto the property ladder is quite important, so you may have to make some compromises just to get into your first home, and you can always sell and move up to a better suited property down the track once you've got some equity built up in that property. Tip number five is always get a professional building inspector to take a run over the property. So if it's a new property, they would offer what's called a handover report to make sure everything's finished to a high standard, and if it's an existing property you would have a pest and building report. So those two things are very important to have done. Tip number six is look at the area you're looking to buy in. So do a bit of a drive around, check out where the infrastructure is, schools, shops, parks, public transport, etc., and know the area quite well before you make a decision on that property. Tip number seven is look at, if you're a first home buyer, you may be entitled to state home first home buyer concessions and grants, etc., like that. So that's a state by state allowance, and it can really help with the deposit on your first home. So again, the finance specialist will be able to explain what's available in your particular area. Tip number eight is always remain level-headed, don't rush into decisions, and have a good think about the numbers and the property itself, and write a list of pros and cons and make your decision. Probably sleep on it overnight and then make a decision whether that's the right property to go ahead with. Tip number nine is be aware that maybe some moving costs, especially if you're moving interstate or out of area, so factor those into your budget as well. And tip number 10, probably one of the most important things, is get good advice from someone that's built properties or owned properties and bought and sold, and they'll give you practical hands-on experience to make your journey much more pleasurable. So I hope that's been some helpful in some way. If you'd like to contact me on the list below, I'll happily send you that 10-step action plan, and good luck getting into your first home. Thank you.